We are at the last stages now of preparing for the eviction. Pretty sure they're coming in the early hours of the morning tomorrow morning. They have responded to our lawyer's letter saying an eviction would be illegal, claiming their eviction would be perfectly legal and they'll be doing it in a respectful, safe way.
Hello, we're live at Euston Square Gardens, very early in the morning. I don't know who's going to be watching this. We're in the midst of an illegal eviction. You hear the shouting down there. People are being dragged out violently out of the fort. The BBC have broken the story anyway, so may as well mention that under that fort there is a system of tunnels that have been created over months by the people living here. So here we are in the tunnel. They've been building up to this for some time. We just had this whole escapade where the BBC, we gave them privileged access to the tunnel on an agreement. They wouldn't send the material out to the public until the eviction had started, and then they reneged on their promise and went out last night. But true to their sort of plans, HS2 pushed ahead and have come in for the eviction anyway. So here we are in the start of an eviction. They came in at like 4:30. Scotty here was asleep, but he managed to get down the hole. Why are you sitting in the bottom of a hole?
Because we like it.
Do you? What do you like about it?
It's dark.
Not with my head. Who are you?
I'm Blue. I'm Nemo.
And what are you up to?
I'm just lying on top of Blue. I'm lying on top of Dan.
I'm lying on top of Laser.
Close quarter living down here.
Yeah.
This is
all we dug. We've got nowhere else to go.
I knew we should have dug a bit more.
I told you we should have started in January.
HS2 protesters say they've dug and are ready to occupy a 100-foot tunnel network near Euston Station in central London. It's part of a campaign against the controversial high-speed rail project. Sky's Ender Brady joins us now live from the protest. What impact is this having on the build, Ender?
Well, everything's kind of temporarily suspended work-wise here at the moment. There's a private security firm in attendance. I'll just step out of the way and you can see some of their work ongoing. So I'm told there are at least 4 people in the tunnel network underground. It's 100 feet long. It's been secretly dug over the course of the last few weeks and is now occupied. The protesters are all part of a group calling themselves HS2 Rebellion, and they say that if the work goes ahead, this area, Euston Square Garden, will be turned into a temporary taxi rank with the loss of all that green space and those trees.
I'm here at the top of a tree, right at the top now, in Euston Square Gardens. We're here facing eviction from HS2, who work over the road there, and the time has come. The eviction team have climbed the tree. They're taking apart our home and taking some of our personal belongings, but we're all right. We've climbed further up.
Well, as you can hear, they are using an angle grinder just a few feet away from my head. You can really smell the fumes of it. It's a petrol-driven angle grinder. It's really loud, really fumey.
Put a bit of boarding in there so that obviously we're not going to fill their eyes, lungs up with any soil, okay?
Catherine, has there been a reaction?
Well, HS2, which owns this land at the moment, says that these protests are in danger and that they put the emergency services at extra risk during this pandemic. 5 people have been arrested and are currently in police custody. As for how long this is going to go on, we don't know. The protesters say it could be weeks.
I am still at the top of the downshaft. This is the trapdoor that I've been guarding. We actually have someone hanging from, he's suspended in a swing. In the background you will hear them digging. They are doing this as safely as they can.
So how much soil is left above our tunnel now, Brett, in your estimation?
Can you see where I am?
I can see where you are.
Okay. And now can you see where I am?
Yeah.
So I'm up to my kneecaps.
Yeah.
We've been down in this tunnel since maybe 24, 25 hours.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Since then, they have kept us constantly awake by loud noises and they've been dropping dirt on us continuously. So we haven't had a chance to sleep. They've been shining lights down in our faces, bright lights, saying things, oh, I'm not trying to blind you or whatever, making jokes about it. Earlier they were sawing a route which was approximately 4 to 5 inches in circumference, maybe 6, and 3 foot long. They dropped it on my shoulder from 9 feet above. They've been sitting on my head. They've stood on my arm. Rocks have fallen on my head without any protection. They haven't given us any protective gear. They give us guarantees that we'll be allowed to sleep if we help them with something, and then they go back on those guarantees. 10 minutes later, Scotty was locked on with his arm underground, locked on, and they wanted him out, so they continued pouring debris on him until he couldn't bear it and had to unlock and withdraw. They've not given us an opportunity to sleep for the last
So here we are on day 2. We're actually coming into night 2 of this tunnel occupation here in Euston Square Gardens. We are doing really well. We've kind of got over hopefully what's the worst of it, the teething trouble, as the bailiffs in the first night were a bit rough and reckless with us, but tonight they're staying distant. We are here at the bottom of the down shaft, and the top of the down shaft is up there, some 9.5 feet away. So you can see there that that's the shoring that the bailiffs have put in. This was our down shaft. We built it and we did shoring using second-hand wood, and then they've added the new wood on top. So they've added additional strength to it. This is one of our original boards. So they've used our wood, but then shored it up a bit more. So that's all they've done so far in 2 days, is to shore up this down shaft. So we're still in the down shaft. We've still got a lock on here. So below where I'm sitting here is a lock on, and so if they start to come down, we put one of us will put our hand in the lock on to stop them getting that, and then the tunnel carries on down there, and you can see it's quite cramped down there, and from there it goes round, and as has widely been reported in the press, that the tunnel is over 100 feet long. It winds round and round. I can't take the camera in at the moment for safety reasons, but hopefully as the days progress, we'll be able to show you more and more of that tunnel. And then on the other side, if I can show you that, are you okay with that?
I'm all right with that.
I'll show you this side. We've got
Hello.
Scotty here.
You all right?
In this tunnel.
I've got a few friends behind me.
And then some friends behind. And that's the other tunnel.
Yep.
And again, obviously, they are head to toe in that tunnel. Can't go further into there yet. But we're hoping, we've just asked the bailiffs if we can remove some of the spoil, some of the loose spoil that's been collapsed today and fallen down. And we were scratching our heads trying to understand, after months of no collapses, why that tunnel has suddenly collapsed 5 times in one day. And then we heard that the cherry picker has been brought into the park against the rules, against the regulations, to remove and destroy our treehouse that's just the nearest one to us here. And clearly that would be the cause why we've suddenly had 5 collapses today, because they've had heavy machinery that they shouldn't have had over or near to the tunnel. So we have now had to retreat to the bottom of the down shaft and relinquish the trapdoor because they took undue risk with our lives. They did a slip trench on one of the sides of the down shaft, which is a good thing to do, but unfortunately they chose to do it unbeknown to them above one of our tunnels. They didn't know we had 2 tunnels, and we told them that we did. We said please stop now, and they proceeded. So they've taken that tunnel. They've taken too much soil above our tunnel, so our tunnel is now somewhat compromised. There is an unnecessary risk of collapse of our tunnel, which didn't need to happen if they could have just simply done what they said they would do, which was move to another side of the down shaft.
They're nice and warm, they've got food and water, and they're happy. That's fantastic, thank you.
Brilliant, keep up the good work.
If we see you when we come back on our next lap, we're going to be issuing you with a fixed penalty notice for breaching the COVID regulations.
So we're into day 2 of this tunnelling escapade. The hardest thing now is the noise. They're constantly working 24 hours a day and making loads of noise with loud machinery. It's really just means we've had no sleep. So they promised that they'd give us a couple of hours without working at the end of the night shift, so from 5 till 7. And as soon as we did the thing they wanted to do, they stopped and backtracked. So we've had yet again no rest, no sleep, no time without this constant noise. So that's difficult. So we're trying, if anyone watching this can help put pressure on HS2 and the bailiffs to stop working for some periods and at least work quietly for a period so that we can get some sleep. It's a form of torture to have no sleep. If we're sleep deprived like this, it's really unsafe for us to be, operating and keeping ourselves safe in this space. So it's just completely unjustified for them to be depriving us of sleep in this way. So
just to inform you, Larch, I've double checked. There's been no machinery come within the vicinity of this area. So if there has been a collapse in the tunnel as you allege, I'm not saying it's not, but I haven't witnessed it. If you feel it's unsafe, you need to vacate that tunnel completely or that area. I cannot allow you to pass any spoil out to me.
So let's take it piece by piece. So first of all, you're saying that there hasn't been a cherry picker inside these gardens today?
Inside the perimeter.
Sorry, inside the perimeter?
Yeah.
Okay. And you've maintained a 100-metre exclusion zone around this tunnel entrance?
100 metre.
That's the standard safe. That's the regulation, isn't it? 100 metre.
I'm just telling you the facts that I've been.
So I'm asking you to clarify them.
I can't clarify that at the moment until tomorrow.
The standard that I've been told by experts in this area is that when you have a situation like this, you maintain a 100-metre exclusion zone around the tunnel. So I'm asking you if that has been done, and you're saying you don't know that yet. You're going to check that out tomorrow. Is that correct?
If you want the facts, I will need to speak to the people that were here and know the exact distances and the regulations for the exclusion zone, as you are alleging.
So the exclusion zone is really important. You're involved in carrying out this operation, and you're suggesting to me you don't know the regulations, and you weren't therefore guaranteeing a 100-metre exclusion zone right from the start of this operation. Is that what you're saying?
I've been told that there was a 30-metre exclusion zone around this area, and that hasn't been breached by machinery.
I haven't had a chance yet to finish talking with you about the different points you've raised, and now you've left.
First, our top story. Attempts to evict activists who've dug a tunnel near Euston are still ongoing this lunchtime after part of it collapsed overnight. The protesters are taking action at the HS2 rail project site.
The protesters are objecting to the loss of habitat and some ancient woodlands along the route, like here in the Chilterns. HS2 says trees will be replaced. Meanwhile, the Health and Safety Executive says it is in liaison with HS2 to review any plans that would affect workers or protesters on the site. It looks like this protest could go on for some time.
So it's day 3 down the tunnel in Euston Square Gardens, and things are much more relaxed today, much calmer. We had a really good night, it was quiet. First night was really bad with sleep deprivation and the noise they were doing, but there was no work. I think they really heard the message from people and the pressure from the press and from the public to actually start following the guidelines and doing things properly. So hopefully that will continue. Obviously no guarantee.
2 days after we exclusively showed anti-high-speed rail link protesters in a secretly dug tunnel under Euston, the government has condemned the action, saying lives are being put at risk. But protesters tell us that they're the ones being put at risk by those rushing to try to evict them. With both sides of the story, here's Catherine Carpenter.
It's publicity these protesters against HS2 want, and it's publicity they're getting.
being in a tunnel, digging down there, when we know there are gas pipes, we know there are water pipes, where air is a consideration, is just a fundamentally dangerous thing to be doing. And the protesters need to come out as quickly as possible to protect their lives and, frankly, not put the lives at risk of our rescue workers, our police, paramedics, who frankly also have enough to be dealing with at a time like this during the pandemic.
Those inside the tunnel say it's they who are being put at risk by what the group claims has been a rushed operation to evict them.
The people who have dug this one have done so with experience and with enormous care to try and make it as safe as possible. They're prepared to stay down there for as long as they can. If they became concerned that there really was going to be a disaster, I have little doubt that they would come out of their own accord immediately.
But one rescue expert who has spent decades removing protesters from tunnels told me he'd like to see this operation halted and reviewed.
I think there needs to be a stopgap. It needs to take a breath. Everyone hold the tunnel and send people off and replan this whole operation. Whoever does it, it's got to be done right. Otherwise, we're going to end up with somebody killed, and then heads will roll from the Department for Transport all the way down through HS2. This is very serious.
The Health and Safety Executive says it's aware of the situation and is in liaison with HS2, but for now, work on site continues.
There's a situation going on in Crystal Tunnel at the moment. There was liquid mud coming through the wall last night. The rain stopped and we informed them of this problem, and they said they were going to pump the water out. The rain has now stopped, and loads more liquid mud is coming down now. The only explanation I could think of is that they're pumping water the other way to try and get people to come out, to try and flood the tunnel out. This is not safe. There's not enough room for people to get out quickly from this tunnel, and they need to stop doing this.
We are now not getting the air supply that we need to our tunnel. We've got an inundation in our tunnel. We're trying to clear that, but they're stopping us from clearing it. They're not allowing the spoil and the water and the wet soil to go out so that we can shore up and make the tunnel safe. Contact the Health and Safety Executive, contact your MP, contact the media, just get this story out there. They are now endangering our lives yet again. They did that the other day when they dug too close to our tunnel from above. They've done it numerous times in this eviction. This eviction is not safe. The whole eviction should be cancelled and a proper review undertaken. Why are they breaching all of the guidelines, all of the health and safety standards? They're breaching them continuously. Right now it's an urgent situation. We've got an inundation in our tunnel. We haven't got the air supply that they need to supply to us. We're not going anywhere because we're in a climate and ecological emergency, but they have to do their duty. They're legally bound to not endanger our lives. They've endangered our lives. They need to allow us to make it safe again, and they need to play their part. Please do everything you can to help.
An issue here, 1:30 in the afternoon, and we've got a bailiff right above us in the down shaft. He's come down without any warning, basically squirted expanding foam. I've got it all over my hands. My hand was in the lock-on. He was trying to block the lock-on. But the lock-on's still working, it's still intact. He's only following orders, but that's put loads of tension in the situation. We are all now piled in the down shaft to sort of stop him coming in, and we need to really address this flow of water. So please, can people get on the case, ask them to stop. They've made a situation which was safe, as in we were collecting the water, it wasn't going into the tunnel. They made it dangerous. We've now had a massive flow of water into the tunnel, bringing loads of material and debris with it, and we need to solve that.
There's flowing in. We're suspicious. Is it still raining?
It's stopped raining now, but...
Okay, why is it? Because it's flowing a lot. We're just wondering whether they're pumping water, trying to make it worse.
Unfortunately, they're breaking protocol. I've got this stuff that's not supposed to be on my hand. We've got a man right above us with no debris full collection. Bearing in mind, yesterday, Laser had a massive log fall on his shoulder and really injure him badly. So they're breaching these protocols all the time now, and we need people to get on the case and stop them. It really helped when people did that yesterday. Please do it again.
I'm Blue. We're currently in the down shaft of the tunnel in Euston Square Gardens. When we were digging the tunnel, we had drainage systems all along so that the water from the top of the building we built wouldn't fall down into the tunnel and cause collapse. They've just removed our drainage systems, so all of this tunnel is collapsing, which is really dangerous and life-threatening.
Oh well, the next time you go up, then we'll get it.
Alright, so
yeah, not right.
This bailiff's
We'll
been
get an
stamping on these right above these two.
Whoa, mate, you've just right on my head, mate.
He's stamping on the wood.
Yeah, but that comes down, you're going to fracture my skull, mate.
And
No, I won't. It's a fucking well.
Just
be careful, I'm not pushing against
it's heavy
you.
wood, and he's
Push
standing on
against
top
the
of
wood
it,
by
trying to
all
stamp on
means,
it.
but not my foot, please.
And if it
Because
falls
I
on our
can
heads,
easily
it
do
can
that,
fracture their
can't I?
skulls.
But I'm not going to do that because I'm not like that.
This is incredibly
So
dangerous.
don't touch my foot, please. I'm just going for the wood.
Okay, now you need to move out of here because you're doing this to deprive us of sleep, and you know it.
I told you to go to sleep. I told you.
Well, what's your game? Why are you stood here? What's your game? Why are you stood here?
If you want to go to sleep,
No, he's not. He's asking you a simple question. Can you answer his question? Why are you standing there?
What's your game? What are you hoping to gain from it?
And why are you laughing as well?
Why are you standing there? You thinking it's some sort of sick joke? You've been completely invaded our space without any warning. You've assaulted him. You're now continuing that. What are you doing and why? Silence. You can't answer a simple question. Why are you doing that? Why are you standing there?
Why is your guy stood down here then on my arm, and his foot landed on my head? He jumped down on us without us wearing any protective equipment, which we've been asking for, with you working above the heads.
Dan, I know you're doing this.